All right, so we're back on the Sportsmax Zone and it's time to talk NBA. Two-time league MVP, the Joker, Nikola Jokic, and the Denver Nuggets welcome familiar foes LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers to the Mile High City tonight for a rematch of the 2020 Western Conference Finals. 3 years ago, it was the Lakers who came out on top 4-1 and went on to win the title. James and Anthony Davis were key to the Lakers' triumph in the bubble and will once again be critical to their title charge. But Davis is also aware that there are differences that could impact how the series pans out. Let's hear from him.
It's a different team. I think the biggest thing for us was obviously having Dwight kind of disrupt Jokic a little bit. He's obviously one of the two guys that kind of get them going, him and Jamal Murray. And actually, it's funny that me and Brian talked about it earlier about going back, watching that series and kind of see what we did to kind of figure out how we can best match up and get victories over them. So, we'll go back and look at it, but I think the biggest key was just kind of make the ball, find the guys we wanted to find, and just play off of that.
We're now joined by our NBA analyst, Alister Albert. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mariah. Good afternoon, everyone.
All right, so we have a major matchup, and of course, it's being tipped as Anthony Davis versus the Joker. Do you see it that way?
I do. It's going to be really resting on the shoulders of Anthony Davis, I think. Of course, you have LeBron James in a series and you'd expect him to be impactful as well. But, this is really going to be squarely on Anthony Davis's shoulders, offensively and defensively. You mentioned, familiar foes. They faced each other in the bubble 3 years ago. And Anthony Davis was absolutely crucial to that in that he was the one who led the Lakers in scoring, 31 points, 6 rebounds a game. And he kind of had Nikola Jokic in foul trouble quite a lot within that series. Jokic averaging over 4.6 fouls per game. So he will dictate how Nikola Jokic is productive in this series in terms of how he's going to be guarded and also what he's able to do offensively against Nikola Jokic. So and we were talking about an aging LeBron James who's now 3 years older and not the same person as he was in 2020. Although he kind of goes against that at times and plays really well as well. But, I think it's really going to be Anthony Davis pushing the Lakers through in this series.
Yeah, and what I like about them is, nobody is downplaying Nikola Jokic, nobody from the Lakers team. Because, of course, LeBron James was asked about him. Coach Darwinham was asked. And I love what he said. He said, he knows that there's a monster waiting for them. And, of course, they need to work out how they can find to contain him. In other words, what are you expecting? How are they going to keep the Joker down?
How are they going to keep him down? It's going to be quite a lot of things. So the first thing I mentioned, of course, is, how Anthony Davis plays against him. So I think it'll be really incumbent on Anthony Davis to try to get him into that foul trouble, like we said. Taking a lot of aggressive drives to the basket. It's not going to be a situation where he needs to be shooting the basketball and everything. Nikola Jokic's lateral movement is not as quick as Anthony Davis. And, of course, him being the lob threat that he is and being more athletic than Nikola Jokic. So, how they stop him and kind of keep him, on defense would be really important. Stopping him would be, another major thing is how they limit his assist. He's even a more prolific passer than he was 3 years ago. He only averaged about 5 assists in the series against them 3 years ago. And we see Nikola Jokic, like I said in some segments back, is synonymous with triple doubles this year. This is a guy who averaged 35, 13, and 10 against the Suns the last series. And, it was really, crucial how he invoked players as well. So, containing him not just offensively, he could get his points and his rebounds, but how they limit the first pass out to the other players, who will be waiting to receive outlet passes, will be really key. And yeah, the 3-point shooting, keeping the defense honest, not just Nikola Jokic, the whole Denver team will be really important. So, these are the things I'll be really looking forward to. And one more thing I'd say is when they triumphed against the Nuggets 3 years ago, it was the use of bigs, their shooting and defense. Dwight Howard, as Anthony Davis said, was really instrumental in this series, played almost 25 minutes a game. There's no other major big behind Anthony Davis in the series, unless they go to Tristan Thompson, who hasn't played very much, or Mo Bamba, who has been in street clothes for most of the playoffs. So, these are going to be the factors that really take, the Lakers, how they play the decisions that they make where that's concerned would be really impactful and crucial for their play in the series.
What's for sure is AD has LeBron has AD. Who has Nikola Jokic's back? What role will Jamal Murray play if the Nuggets are to close this one out?
Jamal Murray will have to be very, very, productive, of course, in this series, but I don't think it's going to be on Jamal Murray at all. Like I said, in them being able to contain him and his passing, it will be the containment of the rest of the team. Contavious Caldwell-Pope was on the Lakers team that beat that Nuggets team, and now he's on the Denver Nuggets. So he's coming in with some institutional knowledge that could actually also affect the Lakers in that sort of way. So this is a team that that will have a by committee approach to the Lakers. Mike Malone is 3 years smarter with more experience and more continuity with this team and having probably a deeper offensive playbook. To use and utilize against the Lakers as well. So I believe, it's going to be how they are able to just use the guys around them. Michael Porter Jr., I'll say this about him as well. There are times in series as they go on throughout the playoffs, he looks like a deer in the headlights. He has to come out and play really, critical basketball, crucial basketball, productive basketball, being effective, being very decisive in the moves that he makes. Sometimes he's very indecisive as to what he does. Aaron Gordon, who was an all-star snub, some people say this year, he will have to be really, really good in terms of being able to switch on to Anthony Davis and guarding him as well. So, it's going to be a by-committee thing. It's not going to be just Jamal Murray. He will need to average at least 25 points a game, but the rest of the guys need to step up big time.
All right, and of course, LeBron James is 38 years old. Not to forget, despite how he's playing, he's carrying an injury, Alister. How much are we going to see of LeBron? And who needs the ring more? Is it Anthony Davis or LeBron James? Because I was having this discussion earlier, and I'm trying to decide out of the two men, because LeBron has already, etched his greatness where basketball is concerned. Who needs it more?
I think this series, let's say hypothetically that they were to win a ring this year, I think this one will be probably a little bigger for Anthony Davis, because I think this is the playoffs that I think where it's really apparent that if Anthony Davis is not the leader, that they will not go any further. So I think the ring will be a lot more important to Anthony Davis. Of course, there's the debate about LeBron, the fifth ring. They were able to get past Steph Curry. That debate about who dominated the era between Steph Curry and LeBron James will be, really big if LeBron were to win that fifth ring. But I think in terms of who might be the MVP of this playoffs, it will probably come down a lot more towards Anthony Davis, because I think he's the driving force behind him. We see LeBron taking a lot more step-back threes as these years have progressed, and he's shooting just about under 30%. So Anthony Davis and his health, his rebounding, his scoring will be important. I think the ring is more important to him.
Yeah, and bench for bench, who has the advantage?
Bench for bench, I think advantage Nuggets. I think they have a deeper team. I think they have a team that is probably more able to neutralize the Lakers. I know Ricardo doesn't like to hear that, but I just have to talk the truth, man. I think the Nuggets, they just have a deeper team. We mentioned the starters, Contagious Caldwell-Pope, Gordon, and all these guys, but they have Jeff Green who comes in and is a bruiser, and and could provide critical minutes. He kind of fills that role of Paul Millsap from 2020, but I think he's probably a little more productive in these years. Bruce Brown, who has been, a spark plug off the bench, I think he's going to come in and play that role that Monty Morris played in 2020 and be even more productive in that role and be a disruptor defensively. You have DeAndre Jordan, who's another big body. You have Reggie Jackson who could come in. So there's a deeper bench, I think, on the Nuggets, who I think who are ready to take on that challenge from the Lakers.
All right, Alister. Well, as usual, we want to thank you. You have the Nuggets winning this one, right?
Lakers in 6. Denver, Freudian slip. Ricardo might say, but I think Denver.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. You're finally talking the truth, Alister. It's fine. It's fine. You finally got it right. After what? 24 hours of talking, and you finally gotten it right. Lakers in 6.
Let's rewind. Denver in 6.
Denver in 6. Thank you so much, Alister. We chat again soon.
Yeah,
Break time.